Hi, and thank you for joining me today. We've been discussing how to live as a Christ follower in today's culture, and we've been using the book of Daniel to examine just how we can do that each week. But first, how much do you know about time? Or more specifically, about those times when we gain or lose time? You confused? I am too, actually, but let's just play this game anyway. We can be funny sometimes. Anytime we think we have more of something than we need, we take it for granted. If there's plenty of food in your house, it's hard to remember to be thankful that we aren't hungry. If there's plenty of money in your bank account, it's easy to make unwise choices with the money we do have rather than saving it for the future. If there's always running water, we don't even remember a time when we were dying of thirst. But when we're down to our last crumb or last dollar, suddenly those things become precious and we don't take them for granted. The same can be said in how we spend our time. We often feel like we have tons of time to get things accomplished. Oh, I'll do that next time, or I'll do that next summer. I can't tell you how many times I've seen teens pass up an opportunity to go to an event or on a mission trip only to find out that the next time it comes around, something else has come up and they can't go. And so if we desire to accomplish what we want to accomplish and make a difference in this world, we have to make the most of each and every day. In Daniel chapter 5, we read a really weird story. I want to encourage you to go and read the whole story for yourself, but for the sake of time, I'm going to summarize what happened. King Nebuchadnezzar's son, Belshazzar, is now in charge of the Babylonian kingdom, and he decides to throw a party. At this party, he has the gold goblets that have been taken from the temple in Jerusalem brought, and they drink from them as they're praising the gods of gold and silver, wood and iron. And as they're doing this, the fingers of a human hand appeared and wrote on the wall the words, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Parsin. This terrified the king, and he desperately wanted to know what those words meant. Eventually, Daniel was brought in, and he translated the words to mean that because of the disrespect the king had shown the Lord, the king's days were coming to an end, and his kingdom would be divided among another kingdom. And that very night, Belshazzar was killed, and Darius took over the kingdom. One of the things that Daniel pointed out to Belshazzar was that despite the fact that he had seen his father, Nebuchadnezzar, be humbled by the Lord and sent out to live with the wild animals, despite seeing that, Belshazzar still chose to honor meaningless elements, meaningless wood and iron and gold and silver, rather than honoring the Lord. Despite all that the Lord had done, Belshazzar took his position, his power, all that he'd had for granted. He forgot the most important thing. But he wouldn't be the first one, would he? In Luke 10, we read a story about priorities and Jesus. Let's read that now. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me." "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered, "you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." Can you identify with Martha? She was, after all, the one who was taking care of things. She was the one making sure everything was prepared. She was doing all the work. But she got distracted. I'm guessing it never occurred to her that they might not have Jesus in their presence for much longer. That rather than making sure lunch was perfect, that she should be soaking up every second she could with the Messiah. Take a moment and think about some of the things that distract you from spending time with God. Time is our most precious resource, and it's one that we will never get more of no matter what we do. So look, the writing is on the wall. Unless we set boundaries and say no to non-essentials, we will never be able to make our highest and best contributions to the things that matter most. So don't take the time you have for granted. Make the most of each and every day and each and every opportunity to honor the Lord. Until next time, please remember that you are His. You are loved, and what you do matters.